More than 250 Australians rescued from the coronavirus epicentre of Wuhan have now made their way home after spending 2 weeks in quarantine in Darwin.
Matt Cunningham was there as they departed and joins us live now. Matt, good morning to you. There was plenty of relief that these people could finally go home.
Certainly was, Pete, and you can understand why. I mean, they didn't just spend 2 weeks in quarantine here in Darwin, but they'd been in lockdown in Wuhan for a couple of weeks before that. There was absolute relief amongst those people. Also gratitude for the work that was done here by the Australian Medical Assistance Team that's been looking after these people for the past 2 weeks. So there were 77 children and 11 infants among those 266 people who'd been flown here from Wuhan just over 2 weeks ago. We spoke to kids yesterday. They were glad to be going home and glad that they'd finally be able to get back to school, although they did say that they were quite appreciative of the facilities that were here and had really expressed the fact that they'd had a pretty good time in 2 weeks in quarantine here in Darwin. But I spoke to some of those people yesterday. Here's a bit of what they had to say.
We are so moved for all the process for the guys and the volunteers have done for us. Before we came here, we just feel uncertain. We don't know what's going on. But once we meet the first group of person, we just feel very relaxed. And we get really, really good care from them.
Well, Matt, I'm glad they've had a pretty good time during their 2 weeks of quarantine, but perhaps it won't be the case for some of those Diamond Princess cruise evacuees who now have to spend another 2 weeks there in Darwin.
Well, that's right, Laura. We've already had confirmation of 7 positive tests for coronavirus amongst those 170 or so people who were brought here from the Diamond Princess cruise ship last Thursday. And some of those passengers who were on that cruise ship who've now been here at the Howard Springs Workers Facility have been less glowing in their assessment of the accommodation here. But we did hear late yesterday from Brendan Murphy, the Chief Health Officer. He has warned that there may be more positive tests that arise from that cohort who were brought here from the Diamond Princess.
All 7, I'm advised, are in good health and stable at the moment. We always expected to have some more cases from the Diamond Princess cruise ship. The risk, as I've said on many occasions before, was significantly higher than the Wuhan returnees because of the evidence of maintained transmission in the last few days when they're on the ship.
Now, it was interesting that Brendan Murphy went on to say yesterday that there was no likely chance of transmission amongst Australians. He believed that this virus was under control. There was no need for people to wear face masks, that sort of thing. That view appeared to be somewhat contradicted by Victoria's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Brett Sutton. In fact, he took to Twitter last night. He said, "It's clear that with local transmission in several countries that a pandemic is very likely, if not inevitable. We are working rapidly on planning and surge with our health sector." He said, "Australia absolutely has world-class healthcare, but even the best healthcare in the world is challenged during pandemics, so everyone will need to work together to ensure that should a pandemic eventuate, our services can function as effectively as possible." Laura and Pete, this coronavirus in this country has been kept pretty well under control at this point, but certainly a stern warning there from Victoria's Chief Medical Officer.
Yeah, big words. Matt Cunningham, appreciate it. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon.